Hello everybody.
Hey.
Our 6-year anniversary was a couple days ago on the 26th. And in honor of that, we are doing a little Q&A. So, I guess we're just gonna jump right into it.
First question says, were you diagnosed before you met?
Okay,
Was that just for you or is it for me and you?
I'll just start and then you can just put your 2 cents worth in later.
Okay, let's go.
If you want to. Just don't say anything embarrassing.
Alright, let's go. I got that.
Okay, yes, I was diagnosed before we met.
You were diagnosed with like EDS and like gastroparesis back when we first met.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis when I was 13. I was diagnosed with POTS when I was 13. I was diagnosed with EDS when I was 15. And then my mast cell diagnosis, technically the first evidence was found when I was 13. But it wasn't 100%.
They just they're like, okay, what is that?
It's like, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
But it wasn't really considered until I was 17 or 18.
What is the favorite trait about one another and the least favorite? I'll let you go first.
Oh my goodness, I was going to have you were going to go first. My favorite is probably also my least favorite. Yes, my favorite is that he can just go up and talk to a fly on the wall. He's really outgoing. But at the same time, that's partially like a least favorite in the sense that sometimes he doesn't use a filter and he'll just say something, and even if it's not an appropriate thing to say, but that could also be a male thing.
Listen, if the world was just honest with each other and no one just had to like sugarcoat anything or try to lie about it, and they were just honest with each other from the get-go to the day they start and the day they end, the world would be such a better place.
Like, okay, my prime example of this would be the day we first met in algebra class, because it was the first day I was in 10th grade, and he comes in, sits next to me, and asks how I'm so pale when we just got back from summer vacation. Someone with a filter isn't going to like think it.
I mean,
say it.
if you aren't able to laugh at the truth, I mean, it's gonna be a really long life.
I went home and cried.
I thought it was funny.
Now it's your turn.
What is your least favorite? Oh, you just said your least favorite because I didn't have a filter. Let's see.
Sometimes you don't have a filter.
My favorite trait about you. I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about you, the thing. But if I had to pick one favorite thing, it's just that how sweet you are. And it's not because of what you say or what you do. It's just like you're in nature. You're just naturally a kind person, and it almost reminds me like my mom, if that makes it sound kind of weird, because my mom is like one of those people at the church. Like, you go into the mall and they're like, "Hey, take a sample." My mom will buy like everything.
Your mom like can't be mean.
That's the thing. That's the thing with you.
Even if she wanted to be, she can't.
Yeah. So like you just are naturally a super nice person, and that's awesome.
The least favorite, I can guess that already.
What?
That I don't just come out with things sometimes, and I don't tell you how I feel. You're
like a genuine, like textbook introvert, and not to say that's a bad thing, because I do like that, because if we were both outspoken like myself, we'd probably be fighting a lot. Yeah. But I hate having to go up and do the guessing game with her every single time that I feel like there's something wrong with her and she doesn't say anything. How does he handle your illness? Okay, I guess that's strictly for me. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. She's all right. So from the get-go,
it's bad.
From the get-go,
it's bad.
Back, way back in 2012, 2013 is when we first met. I already knew that she had some kind of medical condition going on, because before we started dating, we actually started talking. But we eventually ended up developing feelings for one another. So we decided to, take a step towards the next level in our relationship. And that's whenever we had to had a respectful sit down with her parents, and they explained to me, it's like, hey, Cheyenne's sick. We don't know how.
But I wasn't anywhere near this sick.
How her condition was gonna go. It can go for the better, it can go for worse, but she just knows she's not like every other girl. And I was like, that's fine. I'm going into the medical field. I like the strangeness of it. So I'm good with that. Well, fast forward to like 2015, 2016, when
all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mast cell decided to come out in full force, and that is what kind of really changed my whole life. And then even if I don't want it to, it kind of changes everyone else's life too, because of accommodations, and everyone had to change their like hair products and not eat this in front of me, and then we all had to learn what we could and couldn't do, because that was all trial and error. It wasn't like I just automatically knew what to do. That
being said, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that you just get adjusted to. Yeah, like when she goes through those little hot spells where she decides to want to go into the ICU for like a 2-week period, that's a little bit stressful, because here I am trying to be a supportive and a good fiance, a good partner to Cheyenne. But at that point, it gets a little more difficult because of the fact that I'm supposed to be able to finish my school so I can get to the point in my life where I can support the both of us, and also take care of her. But we make it work. It's kind of like, I guess I could consider that the equivalent to the guy like not putting his socks in the dirty laundry bin. That's like what I have to deal with versus that. So I think that.
Did you ever hold back on dating because of your illness? Okay, hold back. I was not a term I would use to describe it. I got sick so young that I've never known anything different. So no, it didn't necessarily hold me back from dating. Although I never like intended like, oh, I'm gonna go date. It just kind of happened, I can see where someone who gets sick later in life, it could definitely be a hindrance. But there are so many different options for dating with a chronic illness. If you're very uncomfortable with knowing like when to reveal your illness, and if it's like with a healthy person, there are different apps, like the dating apps, like the new Lemonayde dating app that just came out. And basically what that entails is it's a dating app, kind of like Tinder, where you can swipe. And everyone on there has some sort of health challenge, so you kind of bypass the awkwardness of having to reveal to your partner or potential partner that, hey, I've got this going on. And I think that's a really neat thing for those that are not already in relationships. And the company is trying to host a fundraiser for a national ad campaign, and I'll put more information about that below, because I actually did a blog post on it.
Just be upfront with everyone.
You just gotta be straight up.
Don't try to hide it and possibly get you hurt or get the other individual hurt, because
that's when things get complicated, when you're trying to hide it. So you just have to be straight up.
Yeah. If you put everything on the table from right there forward, and other individual, like myself with Cheyenne, she put everything on the table up front, so I knew exactly what I was potentially getting into, and that way I could decide if that's something I really want to continue to go through or not. And it may not even work out. It may not, even the fact that you were able to get past the medical part, you might still have normal relationship problems where you just don't really go together like you thought you were going to go.
You don't necessarily have to go tell everyone your life story on your first date. But, I mean, you can do that, too. That'll truly know if they're a keeper or not. Because they're either going to get the heck out of Dodge.
Can you imagine just sitting down, just like, oh, hey, how you doing? That new dating app will probably be a lot more beneficial, because that little, like...
That whole
awkwardness of, like, explaining that concept, it'll already be done. Because they're like, oh, you already met this person through this app, so that way you know that there's already something medically wrong with them.
Yeah. And with the app, you can choose to reveal like the specifics of your illness, or you can kind of just choose not to, but everyone there has some sort of awareness and knows how it feels to date with health challenges.
The best and worst moment of the relationship.
Okay.
I say 2015.
For what?
For both. I think 2015 was both the worst and the best at the same time, because, well, I'll say what my part first, and then you can tell. So in 2015, Cheyenne actually went through a spell where she converted to veganism, or actually like raw vegan, and it actually ended up helping her make improvements, and she went to like a remission, so to speak, for from all of her mast cell issues.
I was still having to take like a couple meds, but other than that, I could go wherever I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, she was actually like at a healthy BMI weight. I
was eating 3,000 calories a day by mouth. My tube was removed. I was driving, going to school, exercising.
She was doing some weird yoga stuff that I can't even do, and I thought I was pretty fit, and she would make me do this yoga stuff, and I couldn't do it.
The Bikini Body Guide by Kayla Etsinas, and then weightlifting.
Yeah. See, I could help her out with that point.
Okay, but I guess this isn't about my weightlifting.
Yeah, but anyway, so during that remission, we got the chance to actually go out and do stuff. Grant you, we still had to like go out and be careful where we went because of smells and all that stuff. But we were still nonetheless being able to go out. I mean, it was nothing for us during that time period to be like, hey, getting out of school, was like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to go grab something to eat and go to the beach? Because the beach in Florida for us was like an hour away. So we were like, hey, let's go. But
I would just pack my own food and
go
on about my way.
Now, that's the hardest part of the relationship for me. Like the worst part was because of the fact that when she went vegan, she had a thought thinking to the future, and at the point where, what am I going to do? I can't possibly live with someone who doesn't agree with the same like lifestyle as I do.
Because I couldn't even be around non-vegan foods cooking.
Yeah. So this is actually goes up to our first real argument. They actually ended up making us split up for like, what is it, like a month or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
We ended up breaking up for like a month.
It was like 3 weeks.
So don't think that we don't have any skeletons in the closet, because we do. So anyways, long story short, I went vegan, but she didn't accept it because Ani went vegan for her.
And I didn't want him to be forced.
And she didn't want me to like resent her and all this and that. So anyways, we ended up breaking up, and then
it was kind of a stupid reason to break up, I guess. But
we ended up getting back together. We had maybe another couple months before her remission unfortunately ended, and here I was still being a vegan, and Cheyenne couldn't even eat.
And now I couldn't even be around any food.
Correct.
Without huge problems, because
doesn't matter
in my remission I could be around food that I mean, I would get mild symptoms. I would like get flushing, but it wouldn't turn into anaphylaxis or anything. So it's, I mean, still something you want to avoid, but not anything that's going to be hugely life-threatening for the food part anyway. But yeah, I would say the best and worst is kind of along the same lines. When you're constantly going back and forth between sick, healthy, you change a lot during that whole process, and if you don't change together, it's when it causes problems. Especially when it's occurring at the age where it did with me, like late teenage years to early adulthood, because you're already undergoing many changes there naturally as you're maturing, and so adding the illness into that just complicates things. What has gotten you through the tough times? I'm gonna be generic and cliche here and put love.
Yeah. And love has to do a lot with faith too. So if you don't have faith, then it's kind of hard not to, keep hope whenever those times are low. Because, I mean, what else is going to get you by? Is there somewhere you want to move to, or some place you've always wanted to visit? I think we have like conflicting places here.
I've always wanted to visit Colorado. I want to go skiing in Colorado in the mountains. I love the cold, and I love Minnesota every time I've been there. Minnesota is the only state that I've traveled to that I liked better than Florida. And now that leads into his opinion, which he hates the cold, so.
Yeah, I hate the cold. It's almost too much for me to live here in South Carolina because it gets too cold. I mean, just look at this skin. I'm like, there's nothing not tropic about me. Now, the place I've always wanted to visit would be Japan. Just because, like, it's so different. Like, the culture of life there is so different, and everything's, like, more advanced, but also still incorporates that older.
And he's an anime geek.
I do like some anime. Next question is,
who is more emotional?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, it's nothing for me just to walk in one day. It's like, hey, and she'd be like bawling out, crying.
I think you're more like romantic though.
Yeah. When is the wedding? Well, we're shooting for 2020, the year 2020.
October 2020, you're thinking, but the exact date has not been pinpointed.
Because someone doesn't call for an appointment at another reception area.
No, what are you talking about?
Did you call already?
It's already scheduled. But that doesn't have anything to do with our date.
I thought you didn't. I thought you had to call the lady.
I have to call her and see if they'll be willing to not wear any perfume, but it's already scheduled.
Oh. Then we're good then. We'll find out here soon.
Yeah, we're going to check out another venue first. We're thinking of having the wedding and then the reception on 2 different days. We're going back and forth between that, and because of that, we need to tour different places and get prices, and depending on what's available, we'll determine our date. But October 2020 is what we're shooting for.
Have you picked your groomsmen and also your bridesmaids?
Tentatively, yes, but like I said earlier, we're still discussing things, and because of that, we aren't sure how big we want the wedding to be. So if it turns out to being on the larger side, even though our larger is still kind of small, then we'll have more bridesmaids or groomsmen. And then if it's going to be really, really small, then we'll probably just have one each.
Yeah. That'd work too.
But nothing's official.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to...
Because I know you have like your best friend and whatnot, but I also have like a brother and 2 sisters, mm-hmm. and then my best friend mm-hmm. is also a girl.
Yeah,
so.
He was the maid of honor in her wedding.
Mm-hmm. But so yes, we still haven't really decided what exactly we're gonna do. But.
Where will you live once you're married? Dude, I can hardly think in the next week, so God only knows. I can't think that far in advance right now. There's just too much going on.
My hopes to go to maybe possibly move to a place where it has more water. Because I'm an avid fisherman and I love fishing. And the outdoors here is amazing. You have the trails and the mountains nearby, which is like within an hour drive. You can get to like some beautiful mountain scenes. But and some cool streams, which is awesome because I've never like experienced any kind of like trout fishing or just stream fishing in Florida. I don't know necessarily if we're gonna able to go back to Florida because it's just the climate there is just so brutal for someone who has mast cell.
It's hotter in 3 hills.
But I would like to go to a place that just has more water. So wherever that ends up being, I don't know.
What about children?
I think we both came to a realization that we do not feel that it's right for us to possibly bring a child into this world. Biologically to the point where it would most likely have the same diagnosis as Cheyenne did.
At first, I was more for it when I just thought it was EDS. But after I did my exome sequencing, now that we figured out that there's a little more than just EDS going on, and that I have like the muscular dystrophy mutation and a cardiac condition, it's just not going to happen. But I'm not even healthy enough. I just don't feel that it's right, like he said, to bring a child into the world. Now, I understand some people do, and that's fine, that's your choice, but I just don't think I would feel right about it. And there's adoption and fostering. I've always wanted to foster, or even adopting an older kid, because so many of the couples that do choose to adopt, they all want babies. And so the older children, especially older boys, get kind of tossed to the wayside. I
think it's an awesome thing to do, especially if you're able to, because that way you can help possibly better their lives, or even just help provide for them until they can decide what they're going to do in their own future.
3 things you cannot live without. I'll let you go first.
What the? Okay, I guess that's fair. So that made you go first in the get-go.
Are they talking about material items, or?
I don't know.
I know, it says things.
I'm going to say my first one is you.
Aw.
if that's allowed. But if not, then I guess we can go on. I don't know. I do really like anime. So I'll probably say fishing and anime is definitely up there because I think that's one of the two things. Those are two things that I mainly spend most of my time doing. I guess family. Family would be a good one because I mean.
I don't know what says things.
Well,
things
yeah, I guess if you're a materialistic object, I can't say like my phone or laptop because I usually like when I'm home I like lose track of those things.
Mine, okay, I got this.
Okay.
Okay, so mine would be like my phone probably, or laptop, books, and
You do know.
cats.
That's like 4, right?
Yeah, but the phone and I don't know.
I can live without my phone, I think.
I'd rather live without a laptop.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather live without a phone than a laptop because a laptop can do everything where the phone can't.
Although the phone can go with you wherever you go. So.
Anyways, but yeah, so that is it. It's been real, y'all. We're gonna wrap this little Q&A session up. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out the links that I'm gonna post down below.
Thanks for having me.